Good afternoon, freedom fighters. It is 12:42 p.m. East Coast time, December 10th, 2025. I have to show everyone the extremely large geoengineering shipping operation that is ongoing offshore of California the past few days. This is the December 10th, 3 days ago. You can see one, two, three, four ships very distinctly with some aircraft involved as well. Straight line clouds are not formed naturally. There's no such thing as ice condensation trails that goes from horizon to horizon. That is nanoparticle chemicals and metals. The aluminum wiring for their machine to work, which I will also show lots of evidence in this one. I will show U.S. Air Force stating they can do this stuff. I will show doctors sharing how dangerous this stuff is. First, I want to show you the incredible geoengineering shipping that is taking place. We're going to bump it up hour for hour. As you can see, these ships are only moving about 20 knots or less. They will hide underneath the fictitious chemtrail clouds. You won't be able to see it, but as the days go by here, you're going to see that these operations has continued very heavily. Let me zoom out a little bit. Very heavily the past 3 days. So let's go hour for hour. Breaking daylight on the 7th at 11 o'clock our time because the Earth is not flat. But heavy geoengineering operations continue through the day on the 7th. Ships and aircraft spraying offshore, which continue hourly. Get back towards the nighttime. You can see just how much material they have put out. It's literally filling in the airspace. We'll continue. As soon as it gets dark, you can very distinctly see these ships crossing each other's paths. Shipping does not change course for any reason. It is point A to point B. There's no reason to change course, as you're going to see that these ships are not going anywhere but spraying. Some of it's very faint because there's so much material, but you can see a ship here. Many, many ships. Let's continue because it's only going to get worse. Very heavy shipping smoke that's not natural, as I will show you ships also that's spraying this material and the type of vessels they use. Now we're on the 8th as daybreak has started. Go back to the night just because it's much easier to see the shipping. No reason to divert courses. Look at this one ship did a 180-degree turn. See where they passed each other, and he's going to do an 180-degree turn here. There he goes back to. He's going back. It's hard to see because it's zoomed in, and it's kind of blurred when you zoomed in. But I know what I'm looking at here. Ship spraying us, spraying my ocean. Look how many different directions they are coming from. This has nothing to do with normal ship traffic, by the way. Absolutely not normal. Dozens of ships spraying. This is the night. You can still see the operation continues. Diesel engines burn very clean unless there's some mechanical issue. When was the last time you seen a semi blow smoke for miles? It doesn't happen, does it? Has nothing to do with that. Somebody mentioned it was coal. I can't remember a ship burning coal anytime recently. They do burn some nasty fuel oils, but it's not coal. But it has nothing to do with that, does it? Why are these ships changing directions? This is a massive operation offshore California. Even right on up. They're just staying right in that fog so nobody can really see them. And this is last night. No reason to change course. No reason to change course together either. I wish if the people are waiting on their mainstream media to tell them the truth, they are wasting their time. Look at these ships out here just doing loops. They're not going anywhere. Not sure exactly how far offshore they are, but I would say hundreds of miles. Very deep water, no reason to change course. Let's bump it on through. The ships are going off to the left, but the circulation is spinning. All right, that's live. Also, massive geoengineering aircraft spraying at the same time this morning. Each one of these lines is from an aircraft. The X is usually very common to see in these operations for some reason. Also, you can see the machine waves very distinctly. Like I said, the aluminum wire is for the machine to work. Sorry that the picture is blurred, but this is obviously from Greenpeace, and they know of these operations. And at one point, they must have didn't like it either. But you're not going to hear a peep out of these people because they are controlled, the controlled opposition. But here, there's two pots and only one burning. These are very small ships compared to the ones I believe could be out here with hundreds of thousands of gallons of material. Just like forest fires, they need the smoke in the air to be part of their program. 22 million acres, I believe, was scorched in Canada alone this year. Also, these plain white wrapper aircraft that we see flying with no markings are very cheap to these lunatic billionaire corporations. And a lot of this is being paid by taxpayers' money. I heard up to 10 billion a year. Here's another picture of a super tanker with both pots burning. Same thing we are witnessing in the live satellite. You can see incredible machine waves over Colorado and Wyoming. Back it up a few hours, you will see that these machine waves absolutely do not move because it is equipment creating this. The fictitious term is gravity waves, which never did make any sense to me the first time I heard of it. How could gravity make perfect ripples in the sky? But if I put on a white coat, the people will believe anything I say, and that's the sad thing that these are all actors on TV. I even seen where they said Trump is an actor, and it would make sense, wouldn't it? But here's more incredible geoengineering operations ongoing right this minute over Oklahoma and Arkansas, staying within this cloud cover that may be completely man-made, but they're staying within it. Also, you can see the machine waves. It's not gravity waves, but individual lines. Uh, just like the U.S. Air Force stated that they can incapacitate half the population with just 3 aircraft. The other day, I was out in this material, and my lungs are not right now. I do not feel healthy, and I never get sick, but I am very sick at this moment. Very rarely I get sick. I think twice since COVID. But let's listen to the Air Force's own statements of what they can do. I don't know if people realize that we are allowed to experiment on our own population. And this is the U.S. Air Force admitting it when they used to tell us what they're doing, but no longer do they tell us anything. Let's let the U.S. Air Force speak.
At the U.S. Army Chemical Corps Proving Ground, tests were conducted using an F-100 aircraft equipped with an experimental spray device developed by one of the large aviation companies. One purpose of these tests was to establish the feasibility of producing BW aerosols in the most effective particle size range as a low-level line source from high-speed aircraft. Wind tunnel tests had shown that effective aerosols could be produced by discharging the BW agent into a high-velocity airstream. To confirm the wind tunnel test data, an aerial mission was conducted using a BW incapacitating agent. Flying at subsonic speed, the F-100 disseminated the liquid agent along a 15-mile line upwind of the test grid. Data from these tests were used to determine the effective coverage that could be expected with an operational type spray system employing the basic principles of the experimental device. This study showed that one fighter aircraft flying on the deck and dispensing 2 wing tanks of a liquid BW agent would cause infection in more than 50% of the populace in an area 125 miles long by 30 miles deep. 3 large aircraft could release sufficient agent to infect over 50% of the people in an area equivalent to a belt 140 miles wide, extending from New York to Chicago, comparable to the total area of Pennsylvania, Ohio, and Indiana.
One more short clip I'm going to play. YouTube has a problem if I play it all; they'll censor it. But very important message from the late Dr. Sandra. I think she passed away last year. It really hurts, but none of us are getting out of here alive. But just a short passage from her. Thank you, Sandra.
In the 20th century, clouds were seeded by numerous countries around the globe with various chemicals to produce rain. China was just doing this over the summer in Beijing to make sure that there weren't any rain, that there wasn't any rain during the Olympics. But all this has changed dramatically with the U.S. military's secretive research and plans to control the planet's natural weather. This has not been given very much press, and we have to remember that we have a corporate-owned press where 85% of radio, television, and print media is owned by 5 corporations. So they're not going to talk about things that are of really serious consequence, and that's somewhat of the blessing, a mixed blessing of the internet, but there's certainly plenty of information on weather modification. The Air Force is on record as saying, quote, they want to control the weather by 2025, and we are not talking about just seeding the clouds for rain. Weather modification means, quote, any activity performed with the intention of producing artificial changes in the composition, behavior, or dynamics of the atmosphere, unquote. And as of April this year, there are more than 150 different weather modification programs around the world. Since about 2000, the Department of Defense and the Department of Energy have been spraying the entire United States sky with a toxic brew of chemicals and other biologic agents. Do we have that? Can we do that? Just want to show you something.
I'm going to stop it right there, my friends, before she gets into too much details. YouTube needs to be arrested for shadow censoring all important information, whether it's health or otherwise. I will leave links for her stuff in the comments section on YouTube. I tried this earlier. I can't remember if I showed y'all the incredible geoengineering operation that's ongoing in Oklahoma. Yes, I did. I remember now. Sorry about that. Incredible ripples from the machine. Let me see what else I see, my friends. I want to play a small clip from Charlie's video he put out last night, I believe. Look out, Charlie. It's about the fake stuff, and I can see a lot of it, but it's getting so good now, it's even harder for me to see the deep fake videos. And I actually watched a thing out of Miami where it was saying 17 cops was arrested for drug charges with the cartel and all, and looked so real. But when I started looking up the information, it wasn't there. It was fake. Fake stories that look so real, it's hard to believe it's fake. But I do research on anything that I see. I want to know the truth, you know. I want to see the paperwork.
2023, after
But let's get into Charlie. He shows you how this deep fake stuff is, and I'm gonna play about looks like about 5 minutes of it. I'm gonna stop it right in there. But it's amazing how they can fake people, and any video now we have to suspect to be fake. And I want to thank Charlie for bringing this to our attention. I know a lot of the views and stuff on Twitter was fake. I could tell by the comments that wasn't happening. When you have 30,000 views and have 100 comments, those 30,000 views most likely wasn't real. And I believe a lot of my 100, 200 extra ones, besides the 200 people, it might be 500 views, but only 200 was real people. You know what I mean? Watch this. It's very eye opening, and I already expected it and suspected it.
Watching all of this go down for a couple. I put this video out here in 2023 after watching all of this go down for a couple of years. I'm just going to say it now. A lot of these channels that are out now are fake, meaning the host is deep faked, completely deep faked. And I'm going to show you proof of that. All of those trans videos that we saw of people saying completely insane things, those were deep fakes. It was a total psyop to piss people off, cause division, and now you can buy the software. They're advertising it finally, years later, to the public. But let me show you this. I put this out in 2023. There is deepfake technology now that simply consists of someone sitting in front of a camera and talking, waving their arms around or walking around, but what will be spit out onto the screen will be a completely different person. Like this. Let's check this out. Here, you can see the puppet master operating these faces. For those of you who don't know, thispersondoesnotexist.com will spit out a randomly generated face each time you go there. And that's how these people are doing it. They're creating characters, literally creating channels after creating these characters, and people are using that. John Lang, the channel, I showed that in this video. John Lang was created doing that, and he was using software here to talk. This was years ago. I like his channel, but he decided to do a face reveal. You see, it's even called face reveal. He was using this software back then. And there was even another comment in this. I talk about it in this video. They noticed it, and they said, you know, LOL, what software are you using? What I was getting at is that all of these trans people are deepfakes. And they showed you in videos here. I'm going to play that. And right after I said that, a week later, Blair White said it on the Blair White channel or Blair White Project channel, right? It was very interesting. Check this out real quick. Are they even real? For real, are they even real? Or are they being put out there to jam the subject into people's minds and instigate division, anger, and infighting among people? Because these are not real. Check them out.
A deepfake maps one person's face onto another person's body in a photo or video, almost imperceptibly.
So isn't it strange that right when all these people in mass started to get their hands on this technology, all of these videos from these trans influencers began to come out? And it's totally true. Looking back on it, they were all fake. They're still all fake. And most of these channels that are popping up now with people are very fake. So, you know, after putting that video out years ago, now they're advertising for people to buy this stuff, the public. Here it is.
Hi, what's going on guys, Sandeep here, and in this video you will see how you can create videos like this.
And they just changed the voice as well. It's super easy now. So you can have a black influencer. You can have a black influencer coming from an Indian perspective. Or an Asian influencer coming from a Jewish perspective, right? Or a white influencer coming from a black perspective. It's all trickery now. And you have to be very, very careful about what you're watching. This is exactly what I was talking about years ago when I noticed that they were all fake, because they were channels made by people or organizations who had this technology before anybody else had the technology. That's what was going on. And there's something else going on that is very, very interesting. These same puppet influencers, big puppet influencers out there right now, content creators, are claiming that people like Ian Carroll are botted, citing a bunch of garbage information that doesn't really mean anything. They're saying that, like, Nick Fuente's viewers are bots. Let me tell you something. I am botted. You found me out. And I've been botted for years, since the days when it was hard to explain to the average person that they weren't actually arguing with a real person. You know, I uploaded a video not too long ago at around 5:30 in the morning. And by the time I clicked on the video page to make sure that it worked, I had 0 views and 6 likes. Botted. These people are out there making it sound like botting is something you pay for, something that's good. It is the opposite. Bots are not agreeing with you unless it's some operation. Botting is something done when they are cordoning you off from the rest of society to make it appear as though you are actually engaging with lots of people. Botting is not to, like, plump up engagement anymore. It's to attack and dismantle it. And if you don't believe me, Trish, who sends love from Columbus, Ohio, can back me up on that. When they are sending thousands of bots to a channel, whether that's Ian Carroll or Nick Fuentes or whatever, it's generally to argue and attack them. It's not to agree with them. So if some company is analyzing and seeing lots of bots coming to a channel, it's not because someone's paying for that, because I'm certainly not paying for it. It's because bots are weaponized. Bots are not your friends. And if they are agreeing with you, they're agreeing with you to prop you up so that it can be knocked down, or so that they can use your popularity for something. That is what they do. Something bad. To pass a law or to use you as an example. That is what they do. Even back in the day, I would say, look, dude, you're arguing with nobody. Years and years ago. And people were like, what are you talking about? What do you mean it's not real? And I'd be like, no, this person that you're arguing with, they're not real. And they're like, what do you mean they're not real? Oh my God, dude. Now it's in front of your face, and there are bots all over these channels that are claiming that other people are botted. And they don't recognize that. Like, you can tell. You know, what happened to the grammar police? The grammar Nazis. Remember that? Now, people can't even spell or put a coherent sentence together. Those aren't real people. Those are bots, large language models, and idiots. You know, or operators trying to avoid keywords. I have spent a lot of time engaging with bots, and still spend a lot of time engaging with bots in quote-unquote conversation, just to see how they operate. Now, for years, I've had seemingly hyper paranoid people come to this channel, right? And they will say things like, there was a noise behind your voice, you know, which could have been anything, because I'm not in some isolated soundproof room. When I make these videos, you know, there's a noise behind your voice right there. There's a buzzing, there's a thump, you know, there's whatever. That's what we do in forensic audio, not when I'm making a video, dumbass, right? So it's either not a real person, or it's somebody trying to sound paranoid. So I put this up at the beginning of my video, like 2 videos ago, right? Intentionally put this up. It's a bunch of letters. Now, any hyper paranoid person would have looked into it and looked at it, but no one did. Not one single person did. And if you look at it, it's a bunch of letters that don't make any sense. But the colored letters do. And the bots didn't get it. And if you read it, it says MK Ultra never ended and you are gay. And no one saw that, dude. No one saw it, really? Let's go to another excellent bot example. These
Okay, my friends, I'll put a link to Charlie's here. I just want y'all to see how we are no longer able to trust what we see and who is arguing with us. And I wish I'd have known more about this when I had my Twitter and all, because I spent a lot of hours trying to convince probably not real people that geoengineering was real, but they are here only to argue with us. Moving on. I also see another shipping operation here off of Alaska. Several ships coming across and turning to the north here, which is, like I said, we do not change course. Nothing to do with, man, they are spraying our oceans and our skies. They have destroyed every self-sustained human in the world, like seamstresses, bootmakers, fishermen, farmers, people that provide services has been ripped away from the people. As soon as they can get a robot that'll build houses, carpenters won't be needed. You can see these operations are very distinct. This is live. Heavy geoengineering shipping. Every one of these platforms should be investigated for suppressing information, especially Facebook, one of the worst examples. I have over 2,000 commercial fishermen. I can share a photo from 12 years ago and get likes. But if I put a photo of something important, no one sees it. It's being suppressed. Heavy chemtrailing right this minute offshore Florida. They have been spraying us so heavy. Let's go from yesterday morning's video. I want to play just a minute and a half long, but I came outside to a nightmare. 4 lines that was coming from Texas and took a turn. Let's play it. It's only a minute and a half. Then I want to show you the chemical fallout that I believe made me ill. I'm not actually doing too good today. Good morning, freedom fighters. Massive geoengineering, stratospheric aerosol injection taking place. Very large. That's the first thing I ever noticed. How the chemical spread. Unnatural. Absolutely nothing to do with ice. It is chemicals. Massive operation turning from the west and going north. Would be a couple trees left. Can't really see. A couple dead trees. But you can see where it's coming from, like Texas or something. Crazy people, quit spraying us. Get a picture of that. Heavy geoengineering. Has anybody noticed in Florida? I showed the chemical fallout videos as well. Had no clue what I was walking out to this morning. Commercial fishermen standing by. Slow poisoning of our planet. Nothing natural, not even a natural flight path. Where would they be coming from? You can see the curvature where you turn. Standing by. Unnatural lunatics destroying the world. Standing by. This is the chemical fallout from a few days ago. 7 days ago, excuse me. There's no fog. There's no pollen. This is statewide. I have friends calling me up that's 100 miles away, people talking to me that's 300 miles away, telling me the same stuff. This is very unhealthy to breathe, and it messed me up 3 years ago, and I may be contaminated from it again. Last night fishing, it was in my spotlight all night long. Good evening, freedom fighters. Jet passing by here. See a couple stars. Boy, I wish I'd have took a video in Alaska. I didn't realize how good this thing picked up stars, but it's also picking up the incredible geoengineering stratospheric injection today. Look at the amount of stuff. This is not fog. It's very warm right now. We have no, I mean, it's moderate. It's like 70 degrees. We have no fog. It's not fog. That's what I'm getting at. There's no fog. I can see, oh, moth, holy cow. But chemical fallout from all the spraying today. Not fog. We're not having any fog. There's the moon. Wow. It is incredible fallout. They sprayed us today like I've never seen. Literally dozens and dozens of aircraft in the Gulf spraying at sunset on satellite. But geoengineering, chemtrail fallout, chemicals. What am I breathing? Is this why I'm in so much pain and everybody I know is in pain? What are we breathing? Wish I can get an air sample of that. That is not anything good. They have been spraying us all day. You can tell from my videos. Nightmare, my friends. Fucking nightmares. Sorry for the F-bomb. My heart is broken. I no longer recognize the people. A spider web on me. It's no fog. It's not fog. I can kind of still see spray and anyhow, standing by. Chemtrail fallout. We're being slowly poisoned. Wish I could touch that part. Oh well, standing by. It's sickening. I was trying to take a picture of, on there is what I was meant by touch that part. It was the button for the camera. Heavy ripples over Florida at this moment. This is live. It's 1:20, so it's 20 minutes later. It's 1:20 right now, and this says 1 o'clock. But heavy gravity waves over Florida, Tampa. Oh, mercy, the lies they've told the people. Every weatherman needs to be arrested. Every single one. I bet they'll start singing like a Tweety bird. You start arresting them and putting them in prison. I bet they'll give up those gag order contracts. Every platform, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, that is censoring the truth needs to be arrested. I know a lot of this is controlled by computers. There's nobody sitting behind their desks, censoring us. It's key words. Hell, my own voice is being censored. I have a friend in Australia that loads my videos up on her platform, and they're not getting seen. It is about the topic. It's about our voices are being censored. Just like Kevin Shipp said, they will destroy you in every aspect. They will censor your voice. Oh, I hope the Lord, I hear it a lot. People say this is in God's hands, and that's absolutely true. Come Judgment Day, I hope they are shaking in their boots. We may be all forgiven for our sins, but they still would be judgment. People think there's not. It's going to be a judgment for them. And if you don't believe, let it in your heart. It truly helps. Very powerful. I told my helper last night, you may not believe in the Lord, but the devil is everywhere. And he's like, well, if you believe in the devil, you got to believe in the Lord. I said, they're worshiping the devil. If you don't believe me, look at the content being put out. It's the most satanistic TV shows I've ever seen. Every video game is about horror movies. I don't know how to say that correct. I've never been into horror movies. Like people watch these horrible TV shows of killing people. How could that be a good thing to watch? I don't think they should be allowed to make these movies and stuff. I remember when they were removing The Catcher in the Rye from schools because it was some teenage boy that was being malicious. What happened with protecting the children? You can program a child to do horrible things in their first 10 years. That makes the adult. I told my dad, thank you for being there for the most important part of my life, my first 10 years. You made me the man I am today. Kind of a ramble here at the end. I don't know where to go from here. There's ships spraying our oceans, aircraft spraying our skies, our water's being contaminated in every aspect, whether they're putting chlorine or fluoride in it. The foods are so unhealthy now. I see people gaining weight like I've never seen before. They're only able to walk because they're young, but they're going to have hell on earth when they get older. When they get my age, they're going to be in wheelchairs. But it's the food. It is being compromised on purpose to make us very unhealthy and short lifespan, way shorter than what my grandparents lived. My grandpa lived to be 93. I don't see none of us making it that far, and I don't know if I want to, as much pain I'm already in my 50s. My grandpa worked my butt off when he was in his 70s. Our entire planet is clouded over. Almost the entire continent of South America, the Pacific Ocean, north and south. And if it ain't cloudy, they're making it cloudy with these chemicals. It's dark in Australia, but it's about to break daylight. Something I want to point out. The doctor, Sandra, whatever her last name is, I don't know what it is with the people named Sandra, but they have been so good to me. My friend in the United States up north is Sandra. I speak to almost a daily basis on our comments here. You've been a great person. My friend and no longer speaks to me because she thinks the earth is flat in Australia. Incredible person. They've watched these videos that's got them convinced of something that's not real. The earth curvature is 8 inches per mile. You can't see it. You can't see it except for on the water. Last night, I got about 4 or 5 miles from a shrimp boat, and I could see his glow beyond the horizon. I couldn't see his light, but I could see that he was there. The glow was there from his bright deck lights. And once I got back up there, I could see him again. It's a curvature, 8 inches per mile. You can't see that. It looks flat. I don't know if you understand how we measure roofs. Like you got a 812 or a 1012 roof. That is 8 inches per foot. Well, we have a 8 inch per mile is the planet. It's so minute you can't hardly see it. But when you get out on the ocean, I can show it to you. And if anyone ever wants to see it on a boat, we can make arrangements. I would love to show people what I know. And I told my friend in Australia, one boat ride, and I will explain how wrong everybody is. But they want y'all ignorant, not to understand the incredible satellite system and all. People, how extreme insane this is. People believe the sun is a simulator. That sounds crazy. I'm like, what do you think? You're in a terrarium? I mean, I don't get it. I fly for, hell, 16 damn doggone hours. It's a 6 hour flight from Tampa to Seattle. And not to mention 3 to 4,000 gallons of fuel. So how much are these operations costing? And then I get in there again and fly another. I think it's like 6 hours or something to Anchorage. I can't remember exactly what it is. So I mean, And then I get on another airplane and I fly to Bristol Bay. It's a very large, beautiful planet we live on that's being sprayed chemically. A lot of followers don't listen to me because they want to believe what they want to believe and forget the reason we're here. We're here trying to figure out ways to stop this madness. Just like my friend the other day, I told him, I said, if I had just a little help from my friends, we might have could have organized rallies, larger groups of people. If I tell 10 friends, he tells 10 friends, and so on, it grows into a large group. But when I got my friends that tells me they don't care, there's nothing I can do about it. Well, that's what they want you to say. That's exactly what they want you to think. But 300 million Americans, I guarantee I can get something done. I guarantee it. At least in our country. Like I said, it's more of a rant at the end here. Billions of us. And I talked to a couple hundred beautiful people. Or 100 and the other 100's bots. Never know, do we? I love the trolls. They repeat the same thing. Oh, you can't believe anything on YouTube. No, that's the only thing we do have access to truth. They want you to think that you're only going to get truth from your CNNs and different platforms like that. Crazy fog, it won't go away. Dane Weedington brought that up. Several people have seen videos on this fog, and I was wondering what in the heck, I've never seen this before. Powerful technologies that has been hid from the public. I'm going to let y'all go, my friends. 42 minutes. I'm sure a lot of you is tired of hearing my rant. Y'all done turned me off. But the ones that are here, I appreciate you, each and every one of you. Thank you for your comments. It's the only inspiration I have to keep going with this. And I'm hoping somewhere somebody important will see our information. I never did this for followers. I just want to save our planet. And that is all I care about. Barely a bird, barely a bird sound anymore when they used to wake me up. I was never even able to go outside. I don't wear shorts because the insects were so bad where I lived. You can wear shorts now. You don't even have, there's barely a no-see-um now. I haven't seen a mosquito in months. Lack of rain's a lot of it. But pull up in the mangroves that used to tote you off with mosquitoes, and now I don't see any mosquitoes. And that was last year. The year before, they finally poisoned it. Thank you to everybody. God bless each and every one of you. Commercial fishermen standing by. Y'all have a great day, good night, good morning, whatever timeline you happen to be on. Standing by.